That one email that I got that said congratulations instead of unfortunately, everything became worth it. And I've applied to 838 places in the past 2 years, and my 839th place was the job. He calls me up and he tells me, "Yeah, you said that you'll be okay with 30,000, but I've negotiated with HR and they've agreed to up it to 33,000 for you." I was like, "Okay, fine. That's my negotiation. Then I'm fine with that."
So the first thing, let's start with your introduction. Tell us where you are originally from, and how did you decide UK for your higher education? Was it a long-term plan, or it has evolved over time?
Okay, so UK was not always the plan. Canada was the plan first because I don't know. I just wanted to go to Canada. It just seemed cool. But then we went to a counselor in Dubai, and she told us, the pricing differences. She told us that bachelor's might be a better option in UK. Masters, we can look at Canada if we want to. And that's when I shifted to UK. I chose Exeter. I came to study for bachelor's. I studied accounting and finance in my bachelor's, and I liked it so much that I decided why not one more year. I stayed for masters, and I'm currently doing my masters in financial analysis and fund management in University of Exeter.
Like when you just arrived in UK to now, when you have found a full-time opportunity in UK, it's a big thing for an international student to get a job. So how was it when you arrived here and now?
Uh, so yeah, it is a big deal for sure. It is uh, not in the field that I would prefer. I again I studied accounting and finance. I'm studying financial analysis fund management now. I'm very accounting and finance focused. I wanted a job in finance, but the field that I have got into is operations for now. The company that I've got into is Trading 212, which is a fintech company, and that is where my little hope lies that I could do something in finance, that I can shift into some finance role, and they have also said that there is a possibility. So yeah, it is definitely it is such a relief that I have got a job finally after 4 years of searching. After 3 years of searching, actually, I was looking for a job in my second year for my placement year. I didn't get a placement. I decided fine, I'll just do third year. I was looking for a job in my third year so that I can do a job after I graduate. Didn't get a job, so I decided let's do masters. During masters, I'm doing all this. I'm doing part time. I'm doing CFA. I'm doing these different kind of things while also applying to jobs. And yeah, finally getting a job is definitely, yeah, it is definitely a great thing for an as a student like me especially, yeah.
Think many international students would be interested to know how did you actually get it? Like, what do you think, is something which really helped you get that opportunity?
Uh, Apart from just like keep applying, after a point it does become a numbers game. You just have to apply. I looked at LinkedIn a few days ago, actually before this meeting. I wanted to make sure, and I've applied to 838 places in the past 2 years, and my 839th place was the job. So sorry, my 838th place was the job. So yeah, I've gotten rejected from 837 places. So it does become a numbers game. But how I got the job, it was probably just networking, just making sure you know people, that people know you, that you can get recognized by people. And I actually didn't apply for the job directly. The company reached out to me saying you might be a decent candidate. So something that you need to show as an international student especially is you need to be interested in something for them to reach out to you. You don't want to just sit on your ass, not do anything, not show any interest in the subject that in the field that they want. If you want to become an investment banker or an asset manager, you need to show that interest in finance. It might not be through experiences. Not everybody gets an internship. I get that more than anybody. I applied for internships for 3 years. Not everybody gets an internship, but you need to be able to show some demonstrable experience and interest in said topic. And I believe the role that I got, operations analyst, I believe I was reached out because of the interest I showed, not knowingly, but the interest that I showed for the topic. I have been the night shift manager of Subway for the past 3.5 years. I have been a field sales associate for EE for about 2 months. I have done trading for 6 months last year. And this year I was the treasurer of one of the biggest societies of Exeter. So I have a lot of operational and leadership experience, which is why they thought I might be a good fit. And you need to be able to show some interest in some topic, especially the topic you're applying to. You obviously want to get a job in the field that you like, but you need to be able to show that, yes, this is something I might be good at. Because only then will the employer be like, okay, this might be actually something he's good at. And that's the only time they'll reach out to you or they'll accept your application.
You did pursue a lot of part-time opportunities so that you can showcase your skills to the UK employers. So that is
Uh,
one,
if
takeaway for.
I'm being honest, my first part time job, Subway, which I'm still
Yeah.
working in Subway. My first part time job, I took it up just because I wanted a part time job. I didn't really care about anything else. Less of showing some experience, but more for being independent. You should get a part time job. You need to know that struggle of earning your own money, spending your own money. You need to know that. And for me, it was I do not want to take money from my mom anymore. She's already paying so much for my tuition and my food and everything. I don't want to do that. At least my maintenance I can look after. And to become independent, that is also a skill, in fact, that you can get through part-time jobs. And yeah, definitely, international students should definitely look at part-time jobs. One thing I have realized, international students over here at least, is they shy away from these jobs. They shy away from part-time jobs in Subway or McDonald's or something. Don't. It is something that can teach you a skill that a lot of people don't have. That people who shy away from these jobs don't have. So yeah, definitely apply and definitely try and gain some kind of experience. It might not be for a job, but it might be for yourself. So yeah, just try and do something. The reason why I did my first part-time job was just I don't want to take money anymore from my mom for maintenance. But then the reason I did my second part-time job was yes, I wanted experience. Third part-time job, yes, I wanted experience. My treasurer that I did for Exeter Asian Society, yes, I wanted experience. So you, at some point, you will realize that yes, you need the experience. You might not start off like that, but you should try and start off somewhere.
How did your conversation with the employer go? Especially, when you were at the negotiation stage.
Negotiation process was actually very small because again I haven't been in the industry. I don't know what people get paid. I don't know, to be frank with you, I don't know what my value is. That's not the
Mhm.
best thing for a candidate to say, but yeah, I actually didn't. And in the application process they asked me what would your desired salary be. Me being again the naive person that I am, I don't know what my value is. I wrote 30,000 because the standard salary for somebody working in London, I've heard, is 30,000. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm good with that. I said 30,000. In my first interview, they asked me, "You wrote 30,000. Are you okay with that?" And this is my first interview. I don't want to say something crazy, so I said, "Yes, I'm fine with 30,000. I'm okay with that." But then later on, after my three interviews, when I got the call, he he calls me up and he tells me, "Yeah, you said that you'll be okay with 30,000, but I've negotiated with HR and they've agreed to up it to 33,000 for you." I was like, "Okay, fine. That's my negotiation. Then I'm fine with that." I went from 30 to 33 in a second. I'm okay with that, and I ended the negotiation just there. I didn't want to push it. You asked something that I would have known or done differently. I would say the process was smooth. I mean, I got the job, so it was decent at least. But in my second interview, they asked me to do a task. They told me beforehand that there will be 30 minutes allocated to a task. They didn't tell me what task it would be, but I figured it's probably something on PowerPoint or Excel, because what else can you do online, right? So it was on Excel. They gave me a task of just a few numbers, looking around it, looking through it, making sure some things are correct, and that was that was where I thought I lost the job. I did fairly well. I didn't mess it up, but there was one part in the Excel sheet where I had to use basic BODMAS, just absolute basic maths, and I completely messed it up. Like, I didn't put brackets where it was needed. I didn't put division, multiplication right. I just messed it up completely, and it came to a point where the person interviewing me had to tell me there is a slight arithmetic mistake that you've done in here. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. What does arithmetic mistake mean? And then I just took a look at it. I'm like, oh no, that's not good. And then I corrected myself. And I rushed it. If I'm being honest, I was too excited to do the interview in the first place. I was too excited that there was an Excel sheet in front of me, and I just rushed through the whole thing. And I do wish I did that a little better. He did calm me down. I did visibly seem very disturbed after that. He did calm me down. He's like, "Don't worry, you did well for the rest of it. You just messed up in one place. That's fine." And yeah, I wish I had done that better. Yeah.
Can you like share your biggest roadblocks when you were making those applications?
After the first year of applying, my biggest problem was I cannot get through psychometric stages. I just am not good at it. I cannot explain why, how, when, where. I'm just not good at it. And I accepted that this year. Obviously, I have to still push through. I still want a job. I still have to do those psychometrics. But that was my biggest mental block more than anything. I just didn't want to apply because I knew I was not going to pass the psychometric. I was like, what's the point? What's the point of even doing the psychometric? So my biggest mental block was that just if I get through psychometric, I am able to talk to somebody, then I'm fine with it. If I'm talking to an AI, I hate higher view. Like 90% of the people in UK, I hate higher view. I do not like talking to myself. It doesn't make sense to me. Talking to somebody in person, like talking to the person who's interviewing me, that makes so much sense to me. Uh, but yeah, higher view just sucks. Anyway, that's not the point. Yeah, psychometrics was my biggest problem. What helped me a lot more than I would have even initially thought, was this website called Graduates First. It basically has practice psychometrics. And that was useful, not because it has practice psychometrics for every company, it doesn't, but it gives me the different types of psychometric questions that can come up. And just practicing, knowing that this might be right, this might be wrong for a company. And companies will tell you there is no one right answer, there is no one wrong answer. I strongly believe that's not true. I do believe that there is one right answer, or else why would you be giving the test? So yeah, Graduates First did help me a lot to clear the psychometric. This year, I believe I've cleared more psychometrics than my past 2 years combined. So that was good. And then comes higher view, which a lot of companies are doing now. Higher view messes with me a little bit as well. I do not like talking to myself. It just doesn't make sense to me. But fun fact: every face-to-face interview I've ever had, whether it be Subway, EE, Samuel and Co, Trading 212, Treasurer, every face-to-face interview I've ever had, I've got the job. Every higher view interview I've ever had, I have not got the job. So yeah, the process itself, I would say, is hard. I can't really do much about it. It's just the fact that you want a job, you keep applying. Again, as I said before, it's just a numbers game. If you don't like psychometric of one company, if you don't like the psychometric of one company, you might just like a psychometric of another company. If you don't like the higher view of one company, you might just like higher view of another company. Just keep applying, and it will pay off. You just have to have that intensity that yes, you need a job.
Where did you like find most job opportunities? Was it through networking, some job portals, or your university resources?
uh, I'm just going to be straightforward. LinkedIn was my
Okay.
go-to. That's why I started off with saying I had applied these many in LinkedIn. I remember in my first year, in my first year of applying, which is my second year of university, I only applied through LinkedIn, and only Handshake. Oh yeah, I applied through Handshake and LinkedIn and Indeed. How am I saying LinkedIn? I did not even look at LinkedIn in my first year of applying because I don't know. I just didn't think LinkedIn was that big. I don't know why I didn't think it, but I just didn't think LinkedIn was that big. So I'm like, no, I don't need LinkedIn. Everybody else uses LinkedIn. I don't need it. I needed it at the end of it. But I applied mainly through Indeed. I used a lot more of Indeed, and in my third year, in my second year of applying, I realized, okay, LinkedIn is a big thing. I should probably start using LinkedIn, and I started using LinkedIn. And yeah, that's where most of my applications came from. I would say maybe 100 applications came from Indeed, but yeah, most of it was through LinkedIn. A few of it, I would say, from networking. There were people that I've met through, let's say, an event, and they've said, "Oh, this would be a good opportunity for you because of the course you're doing or because of the experience you have." go to LinkedIn or go on Indeed and apply. So I ended up applying through those places itself, but I applied to it because somebody told me to apply rather than me just applying to it directly. So yes, a little bit of networking in there, but mainly it was just Indeed and LinkedIn.
Do you also remember any fun incident, which happened? Because you must also not be used to, talking to people, going out there, and you asked something very blatantly and you got an answer, or there was an eye opener. Is there something like that?
I don't exactly remember, but in my in my second year of university, so my first year of
Yeah.
job search, uh, there was a there was a there was a university event where they were promoting other networking events, and I have not done any networking events so far. Right at this point in time, I have not done any networking events. So I'm like, let's just go to this university event. Let's see what they say, everything. And I was hell bent on getting a job with PwC back then. I don't know why. I just was. I wanted to be an accountant for PwC back then. So I went to this university event and there was a PwC stand. And I straight up just went to them and I'm like, so if I attend the networking event, will I get a job? And they all collectively just laughed. And they're like, no, that's not how networking event works. And then they explained the whole thing to me, how it works, what you have to do to get the job and everything. And I was like, oh, okay. But I think that's the funniest thing that would have probably happened. Networking events, I keep it as professional as I can be. I don't try and ask for a job anymore.
So, from your experience, like, what do you think? What makes a candidate stand out? When applying for roles, are there any tips? Which most people don't know, which you learned through probably networking or research or your experience? Anything which international students must know.
Something that makes you stand. I don't think there's like one thing that makes every candidate stand out. There are
Sure.
things
Yeah.
for different candidates that stand out for different candidates.
Definitely.
Like for example, some people might have a lot of experience. Great, that will make you stand out 100%. Some people might have done a lot of different things, sales, marketing, finance. That shows that you're very adaptable. That's a skill. Some people might have just shown a lot of interest, like basically me. I don't have any experiences under my belt in finance except the trading, maybe. But I have shown a lot of interest. I've done a lot of separate things. And for some people, it might just be pure wit. If you can make your employer laugh somehow in your application process, you're probably going to get an interview. And I think that would be my advice, because at the end of the day, you need to stand out, whether it's through experience, through interest, through being adaptable, or through being funny. You have to try and stand out, and if you can be funny and stand out at the same time, that's gonna, I at least in my opinion, you will get a lot more interviews that way. Now you have to you doing bad in the interview or good in the interview is up to you, but getting to the interview is the point. And getting to the interview, it might just be helpful if you are funny in some sort of way, because employers are so used to seeing professional CVs, professional cover letters, designed in the same way. All CVs look the exact same for some reason, uh, and they get bored. Employers do get bored. They don't realize that they've been. I mean, they realize that they've been in front of the computer looking at the same thing for all candidates. In between of that, if you just make them smirk a little bit, they might just be like, okay, he's something different, or she's something different, and you might just get an interview. So yeah, try and stand out by being funny, if you can. If it's a very serious job and you don't want to lose it, then no, don't be funny. Just be serious. But yeah, that would be my advice. Just try and stand out by being a little witty.
So let's talk about your experience with Student Circus. How did you
Yeah.
first come across it? What features you find most helpful?
Yeah. So I uh, I feel actually a little stupid because I didn't know about Student Circus until my masters began, and I found out about Student Circus because of my masters. Because before my masters started, we had a 3 week induction course, because the course that I'm doing is a very serious course. Not like master's courses are not serious, but mine is a little too serious because it's affiliated with the CFA. So they had to have an induction course before we started our actual course. And in that induction course, they were talking about accounting, finance, they're talking about different things of CFA. They're trying to like teach us a lot. But because this is such a highly ranked course, I think we are like ranked number 11 in the UK or something. Uh, and because it's such a high rank course, they want people to find a job. Like they really need people to find a job because obviously it improves their grading, right? And because of that, they introduced us to student circus. They're like, international students, here you go. This is the place for you to be. Student circus advertises jobs that has visa opportunities, visa sponsorship opportunities. Again, it's not going to get me a job just because I know that this company offers sponsorship. It's not going to get me a job, but it provides me that little hope that I might just be sponsored in UK, and that's what Student Circus was for me in the start. I I applied to a lot of places in Student Circus in the very beginning of the year. The academic year is what I'm talking about. Very beginning of the academic year, I applied to probably every sponsored job that there was on Student Circus available. I applied to like all of them finance related. I actually didn't remember it, but I went on Student Circus later and I looked at it and then it clicked me that yes, you guys do provide immigration advice. Not immigration, but after you've come to the UK, what's life? And I do remember looking back in September and looking at the immigration advice section that you had. And I did actually gain quite a lot of insights from that. Like, one thing I was under the misconception is uh, so my studies end on September 22nd, but like my course ends on September 22nd, but my studies end on September 1st. Like, I submit my dissertation on September 1st. Can I work in that little time frame? I found out from you guys that I can't. And stuff, just small things like that, that was helpful. There was a student that who who is doing accounting and finance right now. He's in second year and he wanted placement advice. He wanted to know things about can he work more than 20 hours, and I didn't do a placement. I have no clue. I actually have no clue about a lot of things for placement, and I realized that when he was asking me, uh, which is a little embarrassing because I did accounting and finance. I'm supposed to help him, and I couldn't help him. And I told him, you know what, Student Circus has this small area of immigration advice. Go and look at it. You might just find something useful. And yeah, apart from job search, I would say that was extremely useful for me. And also, very recently, I found out that you guys have a campus ambassador thing. I should have probably applied.
Looking back, what's that one thing you really wish you had known before starting your job hunt in UK? Something that could have saved your time,
Oh my
some
god.
stress, or even changed your approach altogether.
Yeah, so why? So earlier on in this interview, I told you I don't count my first year of application as application, and this is the reason why. Because I was doing accounting and finance in my bachelor's, and I didn't know that university finance and real world finance are two completely different things. University finance is more investment, portfolio management related, but real world finance is accounting. It's just it's just accounting. So when you go on Indeed or LinkedIn and you type finance, the jobs that they give you is accounting. They don't give you university finance jobs. But I am typing finance for a very particular reason. I want university finance jobs. I don't want accounting jobs. And I didn't know for the whole year. And I'm so serious about this. I wasted a whole year of applying that finance means accounting. Uh, I didn't know how to find the finance roles that I wanted. Like now I know. Now you type investment analyst, mergers and acquisitions analyst, investment banking analyst. You have to type particular roles in finance. You can't just type finance as a broad term. Like if you go on LinkedIn and you type data analyst, yes, you'll get data analyst roles. You type accounting, you'll get accounting roles. That makes sense. But if you type finance, you don't get finance roles. You get accounting roles. So
Realize that.
I realized that in third year. Uh, I realized that because somebody told it to me in third year. In my second year of university, I did very less networking, which is also a reason why I probably didn't realize it. In my third and fourth year is when it grew a lot, and that's when I found out. I found out because one of my friends actually told me. It was not even networking, not even a professor, career event, nothing. It was a friend who told me, and I felt so stupid because he told it to me, and I was like, no, that doesn't make sense. You're wrong. And then I went and I checked, and all finance roles required ACCA or ACA, and I was like, oh no, I just wasted a whole year. Yes, I did apply to a few actual finance roles, but I didn't realize that is the type of roles I need to search for. So I missed out on a lot of opportunities, or I wasted my time on a lot of opportunities. Actually, both of them. And now looking back at it, when I was in my second year, I wanted a placement, and I asked my mom to try and help me because she might have a few contacts here and there. I asked my mom to try and help set up an interview with some people for finance related jobs. Now, again, real world finance means accounting. I go into one of the interviews and he starts talking about accounting, and I am confused. But I'm in the interview. I cannot say that's not the role I've come for. I just did the interview as if I wanted accounting, and I got so mad at my mom. I'm like, why did you set up an accounting interview? She's like, that's what you asked for. I'm like, no, I asked for finance. And now that I look back at it, she made so much sense because she knows finance as accounting. I know finance as a completely different thing, and yeah, that would have saved a lot of time if in my first year they decided to tell me that yes, you're doing accounting and finance, but in real world that just means accounting and accounting. So yes, that would have saved a lot of time for me.
If you have to describe your job hunt in one word, what would that be?
Uh, okay, one word doesn't come in mind. Can I give two?
One phrase. Give us one phrase.
Worth it. No matter how hard it was through the way, that one email that I got that said congratulations instead of unfortunately, everything became worth it. I was like, wow, this is what I did it for. And yeah, worth it.
It was long. It took, a lot of part-time jobs. It took a lot of applications, a lot of talking around.
Yeah.
So how did you get that motivation again? Any activity, particular activity, any habit, anything you added to your routine, which helped you persevere in that? A lot of
Uh,
international students can feel demotivated when they don't get selected, either due to, visa issues or just not understanding the market right.
if I'm being
So
honest with you, so again, in my first year of applying, I was just applying to anything and everything, right? Mainly accounting and finance roles, even though accounting was by mistake. But yeah, my first year of applying was just that, and I didn't really apply to many places. Uh, Actually, I stopped applying by like Jan Feb, if I remember, because I was like, it's fine. I don't get a placement. I'll just do my third year. That's okay. So if I'm being honest with you, in my first year of applying, I got demotivated. I got demotivated the exact same way you said. International students do get demotivated and they stop applying. That's exactly what I did. I stopped applying. In my third year, obviously, that stress hit me. That oh no, I might need a job, and that's when I started doing a part-time job in trading. In my third year, it was pure excitement uh, that kept me from not applying. Uh, and then in my masters, when I decided no more trading roles, I'm going to focus more on finance roles. I started doing a lot. There was I was doing a lot this year. I did my part-time job in Subway. I was applying for internships and full-time jobs. I was doing treasurer. I was doing Amplify Me. I was studying for my CFA. I was doing a financial modeling course. I was doing a Python course, and I was doing treasurer. I was being the treasurer of Exeter Society. I was doing a lot, and at some time, like during some situations, I was like, I do not have the energy to apply. I cannot apply. But then I just look at myself. I look at the amount of things I have in my portfolio. I look at the amount of things that I have to do. All of them are finance related. Every single thing I am doing is finance related. Why am I doing any of this if I'm not applying for a job? And that's what motivated me. Like you, it's weird. It's a weird psychology, I guess. But you doing something to improve yourself will actually want you, and you'll actually want to get a job in that after a while. You'll code yourself in a way, sort of, that you're doing this for a reason. And if you're not applying towards that reason, stop doing everything. What's the point? And I knew I didn't want to stop doing anything. I knew I really, really enjoyed studying for CFA. Most out of everything, I loved studying for CFA. It was stressful as hell, but I love studying for CFA. And I'm like, what? I'm this. this stupid CFA thing could get me a job if I just apply. Let me just apply. And that's what kept me motivated. Doing a lot of things genuinely kept me motivated to apply. Yeah, that was all 3 years breakdown.
What's next for you? Are you planning to continue into full-time work or
Yeah, I've got a job, and if I were to study more, then that would mean PhD, and I am in no rush to do a PhD. As much as I would love a doctor beside my name, I would also love money inside my account. So yes, full time job is what I'm doing next. I'm not studying anymore. I'm so done with studying.
can you share your final advice? You know, a very honest one to the international students who are just beginning their career journey.
So I'll give two advice. One is very simple. One is just be patient. Things will come your way if you just be patient. Try and just keep applying. That's number one. That's my first advice. Just be patient. As I said, it will be worth it later on. When you get that congratulations, it will be worth it. Just be patient. My second advice would be, and this is the harder advice. In fact, even I did not follow this advice back then. But my advice would be try and figure out what you want to do early on. It's a very hard ideology to get your mind around that you will not look at a first year student, ask them what they want, and then their answer might just not be the same in their third year. Their answer will change because they'll go through modules, they'll go through situations, they'll realize they might not want to do economics or accounting or finance. They might just realize that. And I get that. But what I'm trying to say is try and figure it out early on. Because, like, even for me, for example, I didn't know I wanted to do finance. I came into my master's, I realized, yes, this is the path for me. Way too late. Way too late. I have realized it way too late. If you realize it in second year of your university, you are in a great spot. If you realize in first year, oh my god, you are at an amazing spot. So again, a little harder advice would be try to build an interest in something you really like instead of just building an interest for the sake of building an interest. Don't just build an interest in accounting because you're doing an accounting bachelor's. Try something else, see if it works out for you. If it doesn't, fine, you haven't wasted much of your time on it. That's okay. But if it builds an interest for you, go for it. Just apply to internships, graduate roles, off cycle, everything possible, part times, everything possible towards that one thing because that interests you. And that if you have some experience in that interest, getting a job is so much easier.
Have you also thought of becoming a counselor? That's what I have been realizing during all this interview.
Um, no, I haven't. I haven't. So I have told myself that a few years down the line, I will 100% come back to University of Exeter, and I will go into a first year accounting and finance cohort, and I will tell them that finance is not finance. Finance is accounting. Okay, don't fall for this. I have told myself that I will do that. But now that you talk about it, I might just think of counseling.